The first time Arietta saw the Price estate in Bel-Air, 2025's warm summer haze turned the glass walls into mirrors. She stood at the gate with a small suitcase and her caregiver badge clipped to her hoodie. The guard scanned her QR pass and nodded. "Welcome, Ms. Brooks. Mr. Price said you'll be handling the household while he's away." Arietta exhaled. Just keeping his mother comfortable. The drive curved up through lemon trees, over a fountain that threw rainbows. Drones hummed to trim the hedges. The house, stone, steel, and light, seemed to breathe. Inside, the scent of eucalyptus and fresh linen layered over quiet piano music. "Baby!" Mama Ruth's voice floated from the sunroom. Arietta rushed in. Ruth Price, silver hair wrapped in a scarf, soft shawl over her shoulders, smiled from her lounge chair. "Not my son, but the one who makes better tea." "That would be me." Arietta grinned, setting down her bag. "Ginger and honey comes right up." They'd met 3 months earlier, when a hospital social worker recommended Arietta for post-stroke care. She was 26, with quick hands and a soft voice. Mama Ruth said she healed rooms before she healed people. While water boiled, footsteps approached. Malcolm Price, billionaire founder of Atlas Finch, the financial platform everyone used to pay everything, stepped from a hallway. He wore a travel jacket and a watch that looked like a small planet. He wasn't showy, just steady. The kind of steady that made people hush. "Arietta," he said, smiling. "Thank you for coming back on short notice." "It's fine," she said. "Your mom likes my tea." "She likes you," Malcolm said, then dropped his voice. "I have to fly to Nairobi tonight. Microfinancing conference. Security will prefer we don't publicize my absence. I'm leaving the house in your care. You'll have full access. Anything you need." Her heart skipped. "That's a lot of trust. You've earned it." He reached into a drawer, took out a slim matte black keycard. "This overrides the home system." "Malcolm," Mama Ruth said from the sunroom, "if you're leaving, kiss your mama." He bent, kissed her forehead. His eyes softened, then hardened back to business. "Anything else?" he asked Arietta. She thought of rent, tuition for her little brother back in Oakland, the tightness of always almost falling. "Just a clear list." He handed over a tablet. "Schedule's on there. My wife is in New York for a charity gala. She may stop by before I return." Arietta's fingers paused on the tablet glass. "Mrs. Price. Vanessa." His jaw shifted almost invisibly. "Yes. Call me if there's any issue." Malcolm's rules were simple. 1. Keep Mama Ruth's routine. Therapy at 10 a.m., piano practice at 3 p.m., evening walk with the dog, Jasper. Maintain the household, light staff only, chef every other day, driver on standby, gardener on rotation. Arietta would coordinate. 3. Privacy. No photos, no posts, no guests. "I can do this," Arietta told the dog, who sneezed in agreement. Mama Ruth chuckled. "He's picky about people, that one. He only sneezes yes." "Do you ever miss quiet?" Arietta asked while adjusting the compression socks. "I miss noise with meaning," Mama Ruth said. "There's too much noise in rich houses, no meaning." They talked about small things. How citrus peels could make the kitchen smell like Sunday. How love felt different when you were 50 than when you were 20. Arietta hid her own history in plain sight. A father who left early, a mother who worked too hard, the night she dropped out of nursing school to pay bills. She didn't complain. She moved forward. That evening, as the plane icon on the home dashboard tracked Malcolm's ascent over the Atlantic, a new notification flashed. Door, side entrance, access attempted. Arietta stiffened. Jasper lifted his head. She tapped to view the camera. A woman in a cream trench coat, sunglasses at twilight, stood by the keypad. Glossy hair. Purse that spoke a language of $10,000. Vanessa Price. Arietta opened the door. "Mrs. Price. Who are you?" Vanessa's voice could frost a room. "I'm Arietta. Caregiver to your mother-in-law. Mr. Price asked me to. I know who you are, Vanessa said crisply, stepping past with a click of heels. You're the one Malcolm thinks is a miracle. It didn't sound like a compliment. Vanessa's face was camera perfect. Soft glam, sharp angles. But her eyes were tired, not from lack of sleep but from long years of being looked at for a living. I didn't expect you, Arietta said, keeping her tone even. Clearly, Vanessa said, surveying the foyer. Where's Ruth? In the sunroom. She just had dinner. Vanessa dropped her purse on the console. Left the home for you, did he? He left his mother in my care, Arietta said, heat prickling her neck. And asked me to oversee the house while he's gone. Vanessa's smile didn't reach her eyes. We'll see about that. In the sunroom, Mama Ruth brightened. Vanessa, baby. Looking like Vogue. Vanessa softened. Hi, Mama Ruth. She kissed her cheek. You look good. Because of Arietta, Mama Ruth said proudly. Vanessa's gaze flicked, cool, assessing. Of course. For an hour, the three women coexisted in fragile peace. Vanessa asked about medication. Arietta answered with professional clarity. The night settled, the city's glow rose, and Arietta guided Mama Ruth to bed. She checked the monitor, verified oxygen levels, and tiptoed out. In the hallway, Vanessa waited, arms folded. Let's be clear, she said. I don't know what stories have been whispered in your ear. But this is my home. It's your husband's mother's home, Arietta replied gently. And I work for her care. You work for Malcolm, Vanessa corrected, stepping closer. Everything here runs through me. You text me before you unlock a door. You ask me before you schedule anything. And you do not, under any circumstances, use that override key. Arietta thought of Malcolm's steady voice. Full access. She nodded without agreeing. I just want to keep your mother-in-law safe. Vanessa's smile sharpened. We'll see if you can keep yourself safe. By morning, the house had new rules. Vanessa's driver arrived. Vanessa's florist swapped arrangements. White orchids out, peonies in. The chef texted, heard Mrs. P wants a new menu. Arietta replied, we need low salt for Mama Ruth. The chef, got you, Miss A. At 9:30 a.m., while the physical therapist unpacked bands and a balance board, Vanessa photographed the sunroom. The soft blanket, the fruit bowl, the way light gilded Mama Ruth's smile. 15 minutes later, the post hit social media. With my heart, Ruth, feeling grateful this morning. Family first. Hashtag care, hashtag healing, hashtag gratitude. Comments flooded. Heart emojis, admiration, gossip. Arietta watched from the kitchen door and felt something cold settle in her chest. The post's warmth didn't match the chill in the hallway last night. At 10 a.m., therapy began. Mama Ruth practiced the delicate art of lifting her heel, rolling her foot, placing it again. The therapist counted. 1, 2, beautiful. Vanessa's phone chirped. She stepped out to answer, her voice sliding into public tone. Yes, Malcolm is abroad. No, he's back Saturday. The gala is Thursday. I'll be there. Arietta noted the detail. Saturday. 4 days. Later, while massaging Mama Ruth's left hand, Arietta heard it, a whisper from the doorway. You're not a nurse. Arietta looked up. Vanessa leaned against the frame, arms folded again. I trained, Arietta said calmly. Had to stop to care for family. But I'm certified and licensed for home care. Vanessa's gaze swept over the modest gold cross at Arietta's throat, the twist-out curls gathered in a clip. You look young. I'm old enough to be trustworthy. Trust is a currency here, Vanessa said softly. People pretend to care until it pays. Some of us care without pretending, Arietta said. Something flickered. Hurt? Then the expression vanished. Keep it professional, Vanessa said. No personal calls. No guests. I don't bring my life into my work, Arietta said. In this house, your work becomes your life, Vanessa murmured, and drifted away. That night, Rain braided the glass. Arietta did rounds, checked pillbox compartments, set the tea for morning. She texted her little brother, Zion. You good? Got the scholarship email. Might get it. Arietta leaned against the pantry door and let herself grin. You will. You're brilliant. How's the mansion? You eating gold flakes? She laughed. Just ginger. She added a selfie, no background, just her face, so he'd see she was okay. A minute later, the home intercom clicked. Vanessa's voice. Arietta, join me in the study. Arietta hesitated. The study, Malcolm's room, all books and black wood and a massive desk, felt like an airplane cockpit. Vanessa stood at the window, city lights etched on her cheekbones. I don't like secrets, Vanessa said. But I like patterns. Malcolm finds strays. People he can save. He trusts them. They become halos over his head when cameras flash. It works. Until it doesn't. I'm not a stray, Mrs. Price, Arietta said, heat flaring. I'm a professional. Vanessa tilted her head. You're pretty. You're calm. You listen. He respects you. That makes you a threat in a place where respect is rare. I don't want your husband, Arietta said, shocked at the bluntness of her own voice. Vanessa's smile held no humor. That's not the point. The point is, this house can swallow people. It can make them forget where the door is. I know where the door is, Arietta said. We'll see, Vanessa murmured again. Morning brought trouble in polite wrapping. The driver delivered a white envelope addressed to Household Management. Inside, a revised staff schedule with Vanessa's notes in looping script. The gardener moved to afternoons. The chef to mornings. The driver on call for Vanessa, not Ruth. And a new instruction, no outside visitors for Ruth without my approval. At noon, Dr. Hahn, Mama Ruth's neurologist, arrived for her weekly check. I didn't see an approval, the security guard said apologetically. Mrs. Price changed the policy. Arietta felt the ground tilt. Dr. Hahn is on the standing medical list. I know, the guard said, thumbs hovering over the tablet. But... Let me, Arietta said, and used the override key. The gate clicked open. 10 minutes later, they were in the sunroom. Dr. Hahn listened to Ruth's heartbeat, tested grip strength, asked her to tap her fingers. You're improving, he said. Keep the routine. Limit stress. Vanessa swept in with a cloud of perfume and objection. Why is he here? Routine check, Arietta said, keeping her voice steady. It's on the schedule Malcolm approved. You used an override, Vanessa said, eyes flaring. For medical care, Arietta answered. Step outside, Vanessa said to Dr. Hahn, tight polite. He blinked, then nodded, excusing himself to the patio. Don't undermine me in my home, Vanessa hissed. Don't block a doctor from seeing a patient, Arietta returned. This isn't about power. This is about Ruth. For a long breath, they stared, two women on opposite cliffs. Then Mama Ruth's voice cracked the silence. Stop it. They turned. A tear slipped down her cheek. I don't need two queens in my house. I need peace. Vanessa swallowed. Arietta bit her lip. They both said, yes, ma'am, at the same time. That evening, a gossip site ran a story. Vanessa Price seen solo at New York Gala. Where's Malcolm? The comments were cruel. The next morning, another site published a photo of the Bel-Air gate with a caption, New mystery woman seen entering Price estate while Malcolm abroad. Arietta's stomach flipped. The photo was a silhouette, could be anyone, but the implication crawled. Her phone buzzed, unknown number. She answered. Hello. A soft voice. You don't know me. But I know what it's like to be chewed up by narratives. Be careful. Who is this? Someone who learned late. She stared at the phone. Who leaks? The staff? The driver? The florist? Or had Vanessa staged a narrative to protect her own? Arietta didn't know. She only knew the story had left the house. She found Vanessa in the kitchen, scrolling. "Did you see?" Vanessa asked without looking up. "I did." "These vultures will turn a hug into a headline," Vanessa said. "They can't hurt me. I'm trained for this." "But you..." "They'll say you're a climber." "I'm here to work," Arietta said. "Work is a story too," Vanessa murmured. "Choose your lines carefully." Peace came in small places. In the afternoons, Arietta wheeled Mama Ruth into the garden. The lemon trees shook cool shade onto their shoulders. Jasper chased a ball, his ears like flags. Sometimes Vanessa joined, barefoot in the grass, hair loose, a softer version of herself. "Do you miss before?" Arietta asked once, trying on courage. "Before what?" Vanessa said. "Before the money. Before the cameras." Vanessa stared at the sky. "I miss being an answer, not a question." Arietta nodded. "I miss knowing what next month looks like." They looked at each other and for a second, the distance shortened. "Malcolm and I were a team once," Vanessa said quietly. "We believed in the same good. Then the good got loud. He focused on building the world. I focused on surviving it." "That sounds lonely," Arietta said. Vanessa's mouth quivered, then firmed. "Lonely is a luxury word. People with real problems don't have time to be lonely." Arietta thought of Zion's scholarship email, the ache in her chest lately when she climbed stairs too fast because stress had a way of hiding in lungs. "Maybe," she said. "Or maybe lonely is just another word for human." Vanessa didn't answer. But she didn't walk away. On Thursday night, a fire alarm screamed. Red strobe. Smoke in the kitchen. Thin. Unnatural. Arietta yanked open the oven. Empty. "Jasper, come," she called, grabbing the dog's collar. She hurried to Mama Ruth's room. Vanessa reached the door at the same time. "Ruth!" Vanessa cried. "I'm okay," Mama Ruth called, voice shaking. "Just noisy." The panel showed kitchen sensor. Triggered. The chef wasn't due until morning. No one should have been in there. Security swept the house. No intruder. The system log showed a glitch, a false trigger, then a manual reset attempted from an external device. "Who has remote access?" Arietta asked the head of security. "Malcolm." "Mrs. Price," the man said, then coughed. "And anyone with Malcolm's override." Vanessa's eyes cut to Arietta. "You've been using that key freely." "For doctors," Arietta said coldly. "Not for drama." Vanessa's nostrils flared. "Don't you dare." "Enough," Mama Ruth yelled from her bed, startling them both. "If this house burns, it won't be the fire that did it." Silence fell like ash. Arietta unclenched her fists, surprised at her own anger. She'd seen families at their best in hospital corridors, at their worst over inheritances. Love could be a battlefield. But she hadn't expected to be drafted. Friday morning, two things happened at once. The gossip site posted a grainy still of Arietta helping Malcolm into a car 2 weeks ago after a late board meeting, spun as "New Woman Comforts Billionaire," and the security team found something in the logs. The external device that tried to reset the kitchen alarm belonged to a paparazzo drone. Not one of theirs. A hack attempt. The drone was piggybacking off the old vendor's Wi-Fi, the head of security explained. It got in shallow. It didn't stick. "So it wasn't her," the guard said, glancing at Arietta, shamefaced. Vanessa's shoulders slumped. She looked, for the first time, apologetic. "I jumped. I noticed," Arietta said curtly. In the sunroom, Mama Ruth watched them. "Apologize right," she told Vanessa gently. Vanessa faced Arietta. "No cameras. No audience. I'm sorry I doubted your intentions. This life has made me suspect kindness. That's not your fault." Arietta swallowed. "I'm sorry I pushed you like an enemy. This isn't easy." The two women stood in the space between pride and relief and met halfway. Late Friday, While sunset made the house look dipped in apricot, the tablet buzzed. Malcolm's face filled the screen, grainy from a Nairobi hotel. "How are my women?" he asked, smiling. "Ruth is eating like a champion," Vanessa said, seated beside Arietta on the sofa. "The garden is her catwalk." "And the house?" he asked. "Mostly on fire," Vanessa said. "Figuratively. Paparazzi tried to hack our kitchen last night." Malcolm's jaw clenched. "Security." "Handled," Arietta said. "But, Malcolm, one more thing. The staff schedule got changed without considering Ruth's therapy. It caused some friction." Malcolm glanced at Vanessa. "Ness. I moved fast," she said. "I forgot the soft pieces." His gaze softened. "We'll recalibrate when I'm back. And thank you both for holding this down together." Vanessa rolled her eyes. "Look at you, Mr. Mediation." "I'm serious," he said. "I'm proud of you." Arietta excused herself to refill Mama Ruth's tea. In the kitchen, her phone buzzed. "Zion, I got it. Full tuition." Arietta leaned against the counter, laughing and crying all at once. She texted back, "God is good." When she returned, Vanessa was staring at the dark TV screen where Malcolm's face had been. "He still believes we're a team," Vanessa whispered. "I want us to be." "You can be," Arietta said. "Can we?" Vanessa's eyes shone. "When the world wants to sell our cracks?" "You start where the camera can't see," Arietta said. "Like this room. Like that garden. Like tea shared between women." Vanessa exhaled. "You talk like a pastor." "More like a daughter of one," Arietta said, surprising herself. "We've survived worse without headlines." Saturday dawned crisp and bright. The driver texted, "Malcolm lands 4 p.m. The chef delivered cinnamon rolls and apology muffins. The florist returned the orchids." Even the dog seemed to sense the day's lightness. At noon, Vanessa found Arietta in the laundry room folding towels with that satisfying snap. "I was thinking," Vanessa said, hesitant. "When Malcolm gets back, everything will turn loud again. Before it does, I want to say something that might sound weird." "I'm listening," Arietta said. "I didn't hate you," Vanessa said. "I hated what you represented. Calm, competence, respect. Things I thought I had to trade to survive this life. Seeing you keep yours, it made me want mine back." Arietta felt her throat tighten. "You can have them back," she said softly. "They're yours." Vanessa half-laughed. "Will you believe me if I say I want us to be allies?" "I already decided we are," Arietta said. "I'm stubborn like that." Vanessa blinked fast, nodded once, and then grinned. "Okay then, ally. Let's rehearse a united front." They mapped the afternoon like a play. Mama Ruth's nap, Malcolm's arrival, the subtle cues they'd use if the press waited at the gate. They chose truth as their script. At 4:06 p.m., the gate camera caught the black SUV cresting the hill. Jasper barked. Mama Ruth sat straighter, lipstick on, scarf perfect. Vanessa stood by the foyer glass, a hand over her heart. Arietta positioned the wheelchair, checked the ramp, smoothed her shirt. The door opened. Malcolm stepped in, jet-lagged, sun-creased, a little dusty. For a heartbeat, family and worker, wife and mother, caregiver and boss, simply looked at one another. "You're safe," Vanessa said, crossing to wrap her arms around him. "I'm home," he murmured into her hair. He knelt by Mama Ruth. "How's my favorite girl?" "Hungry," she said, eyes twinkling. "Your woman starved me." Vanessa laughed, swatted the air. "Lies." Malcolm looked at Arietta. "You look tired," he said. Arietta blinked. "I'm okay." "You kept my world standing," he said sincerely. "Thank you." And maybe it would have ended there, simple and sweet, if not for the second SUV that rolled to a stop outside the gate and the low hum of voices outside the walls. Paparazzi, punctual as church bells. "Showtime," Vanessa murmured, jaw lifting. Together. Together, Malcolm said. He turned to Arietta. You don't need to be near the front. I'll stay with Ruth, she said. Perfect, Vanessa said, and met her eyes. Something like gratitude pulsed between them. The three stepped onto their marks. The doors opened. The afternoon exploded with shutters. But inside the house, in the cool calm, Arietta and Mama Ruth sipped tea like two women in any kitchen anywhere. The weekend settled into normalcy with a different flavor. Malcolm and Vanessa talked more softly in corners. They took the garden bench like a confessional. The house felt less like a museum and more like a place where people could sneeze, laugh, cry, then laugh again. On Monday morning, Malcolm called a staff meeting. We're resetting, he said. Our home is not a set. It's a home. Dr. Hahn has unblocked access. The security system gets a new vendor. And, Arietta, I want to discuss your role. Arietta stiffened. If I... Relax, Malcolm said, smiling. I've seen the notes you've kept. The progress. The way Ruth's smile is brighter when you speak. I'd like to sponsor your return to nursing school. Flexible hours here while you finish. Full scholarship. The room went very quiet. Arietta's hands shook. Malcolm, I don't know what to say. Say yes, Mama Ruth called from the sunroom. Or I'll revoke your tea privileges. Vanessa stepped forward. It was my idea, she said, not stealing credit so much as sharing light. Well, half my idea. You deserve it. Tears blurred Arietta's sight. I don't have words. Use mine, Vanessa said softly. Thank you for caring for what's mine. Arietta swallowed hard. Yes, she said. I'd be honored. The story didn't end with a scandal or a fight. It ended the way good rooms do, quietly, with fresh flowers, sunlight, and the sighs of people who chose gentleness over winning. Arietta registered for fall classes that week. Zion called every night, thrilled and hopeful. We glow up together, he kept saying, and she'd laugh because it felt like the first time in a long time that life was handing them a soft thing. Vanessa started a small, private support circle for spouses in the spotlight. No press, no curated images, just real voices. She invited Arietta one evening to share about caregiver boundaries and compassion fatigue. They sat in a semicircle of women who'd been reduced to headlines and decided to become stories again. Malcolm learned to put his phone down during dinner. He took Jasper to the shelter where they'd adopted him and donated a wing for therapy animals. He flew to fewer conferences and to more sunrises in his own backyard. Mama Ruth kept practicing piano until her left hand found middle C with confidence. The trick, she told Arietta, is trusting that your fingers remember even when your fear forgets. On a quiet Thursday, Arietta stood at the garden edge, wind lifting the hem of her dress. Vanessa joined her, 2 mugs of tea steaming. You ever think about leaving? Vanessa asked. Sometimes, Arietta said honestly. But then I remember, homes don't heal people. People heal people. And I have people here. Vanessa smiled. I'm glad you stayed. They watched the city in the distance, silver and loud and always hungry. Then they turned to the lemon trees, to Jasper snuffling in the grass, to Mama Ruth's laughter floating through the open door like church bells. Peace didn't announce itself with trumpets. It just sat down at the table, poured another cup, and stayed. And for once, no one tried to make it a headline. Months later, when fall painted the neighborhood with a color Los Angeles pretended not to own, Arietta walked through campus with a backpack and a purpose that felt like breath. She still lived at the Price estate, now with a clear title, lead care coordinator, and a schedule that gave her mornings for Ruth, afternoons for study, evenings for herself. Vanessa sent a text. Board meeting ran long. Tell Mama Ruth I'll be late for movie night. Save me the seat with the good blanket. Arietta replied, already saved. A moment later another text buzzed, from the head of security, who insisted on checking in like an uncle. You good? Need a ride? I'm good. Thanks, Mr. Leon. She smiled, thinking of how lives braiding together made safety nets you didn't know you needed. At home, she'd make ginger tea and set out 3 cups. She'd cue up an old film Mama Ruth loved. She'd listen to the gate open and the sound of Vanessa's laughter bounce against the walls, and she'd breathe again. In a noisy world, Arietta had found a corner of quiet where care was not an act of service alone, but an act of belonging. And that, more than money, more than houses that breathed, felt like the richest thing of all.